So, hello everyone. Let's start today's session. Uh, in today's session, we'll see that how we can create a custom BAPI. Yesterday, we have seen how we can use the standard BAPI. Generally, we don't have to create the custom BAPI, but suppose if you want to create the custom BAPI, that is possible. So let us see how we can create the custom BAPI. Okay, how to create a custom BAPI. So you'll have to follow certain steps to create a custom BAPI. You know that this BAPI is nothing but a RFC function module. So whatever the technique we apply to create a RFC function module, all the technique we are going to apply here as well to create the custom BAPI. Okay. So let's start with the first step. So the first step is all the BAPI name, whatever the RFC function module, that means the BAPI you want to create, that must be a start with JBAPI. Okay, so custom BAPI name must be started with
The recording.
JBAPI. Yeah, recording is there. Yes, it's going on. It's going on. Okay, so custom BAPI name must be started with JBAPI. Okay, so this is the first step you will have to follow. This is the first step we'll have to follow. In just a second. So this is the first step we are supposed to follow, and the second step is what whenever we create any function module, we must have some parameter, right? We must have to define some parameter. So the parameter type should be of a structure type. Okay, so the second step, all the importing and exporting parameters should be of type structure. Okay, should be of type structure. So this we will write in the third point. The name, let's see the name. All the importing and exporting parameters name should be started with JBAPI. Okay, here also the name should be started with JBAPI. Should be started with JBAPI. Then the third point we will write its type. All the parameter must have some type, so the type should be of a structure type. All the types for the importing for the parameters should be of a structure type. Okay, that means suppose if you are going to get the material number from the outside, suppose this is your function module. Okay, this is the JBAPI function module. BAPI is nothing but RFC enable function module, right? So this is your JBAPI FM. Okay, so suppose from outside you want to get the import parameter, you are trying to supply the material only. Okay, suppose from outside you are trying to supply the maintainer only. So here in the import parameter you cannot give maintainer type MATNR. In the normal function module you can give maintainer type MATNR, but here what you will have to give, you will have to create one structure which should have a component called maintainer, and that you will have to write. Okay, so you'll have to create one structure which contains the maintainer as a component. Okay, that we'll have to use. That's what I'm trying to tell it over here. Okay, so this is the third point. Okay, now the fourth point. Let's write the fourth point. What is the fourth point? In the fourth point, all the you know uh, all the importing and exporting parameter, right? What it should be passed by value, because it's a RFC function module. right? So in the RFC function module, there is no concept of pass by reference because it's a RFC function module, RFC function module. So all the parameters must be, you know, all the parameters must be passed by value. All the parameters must be passed by a value. Now the fifth point. What is the fifth point? Fifth point is it must have a returning parameter of BAPI read2. Whenever you create any BAPI, it should must have a returning message parameter. Okay, it must have a returning message parameter. So BAPI must have a returning message parameter of type BAPI read2. Okay, so BAPI must have a returning parameter, a returning message parameter of type BAPI read2. Okay, let's go and observe one BAPI. Okay, so BAPI, yesterday we use one BAPI, right? BAPI material save data. BAPI material save data. So if we look into this BAPI, you can see that all the BAPI, the BAPI name is starting with BAPI because it's a standard, a standard BAPI. So it's starting with BAPI. In case of custom, we will start with ZBAPI, right? And here, all the importing parameter name is also start with BAPI. You can see that BAPI, 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 right? BAPI, BAPI. Export parameter also you can see that it's a BAPI read2. One parameter, it is having the return parameter like BAPI read2, right? Change parameter, no tables parameter, but in the tables parameter also you have all the parameter name starting with the BAPI, right? All the parameters name is starting with BAPI. Here some of the parameter, because the different namespace they are using, but here also they are having the BAPI. You can see that the BAPI, they are having the BAPI, right? Here also you can see that BAPI, it's a BAPI because this parameter would have been created in the different namespace. This CWM is the another namespace. So just let's not get confused. The generalized thing is that it must be start with BAPI. Here also the BAPI you can see. Okay, in the custom one it must be started with ZBAPI. Okay, exception and all, that's fine, there is no problem. Let's go and create one BAPI. Okay, let's go and create one BAPI quickly. SE37. I'm going to create one normal BAPI to sum two number and give the output ZBAPI sum to number. Generally we don't require to create a BAPI, but if you want to create OOPS oriented RFC function module, then you can create the BAPI. So ZBAPI, the first criteria I have made over here, name is starting with ZBAPI. Click on this create button, give some function module. Whenever we create any function module, we must have to give the function group, right? So I'm just going to choose Z test 123 and the short text BAPI demo. Click on this save button, click on this OK, and the parameter now came over here, the import parameter. So the import parameter, I'm going to take the two number, right? So because I'll have to take the two number, I'm going to give the name as, BAPI, maybe BAPI first number, right? First number and BAPI second number. So name of the parameter must be started with, BAPI. Okay. So here the type, associated type int1, but you cannot use the int one over here in the BAPI. You cannot use the int one over here in the BAPI. When you will try to register this function module as a BAPI, at that time it will give you the error that why you have used this int one, right? Generally, at this point of times, your system is understanding that this is a function module. It will not give you any problem, but once you will try to register this function module with a business object, there it will give you the error, because this function module now it will not be a normal RFC, it will become a BAPI RFC, right? So what you will have to do, integer one, I'm going to create one structure AC uh, 11, right? You'll have to use, you'll have to create one structure z BAPI first 10. Click on this create number, and the first 10 is not required actually. Let make it generic ZBAPI number so that I can use it anywhere. A structure I'm going to create, and the first component ZBAPI number, so integer data type. So this structure I'm creating for the integer data type. So the component here, the number typing method types and the component int one. Now my structure is ready. Save it, local object, activate it, activate it. I don't want to see any, and there is no problem if warning is there. So a structure I have created which is having one component number, right? Give it over here, give it over here, right? First number is also a number, second number is also a number, a component number it is having. So no problem, it's good. Come over here, it will give you the sum. I want to return the sum. Okay, so BAPI output or result or sum. Okay, sum. Typing type, associated type, the same ZBAPI number. That's why I have make the name generic. Okay, I have made the name generic ZBAPI number. In export parameter, you must have, just we have seen that it must have a return parameter of BAPI read2, right? So BAPI return message. Okay, it should have, BAPI must have a return parameter of type BAPI read2 or return. Okay, so the parameter name generally we keep at return. Okay, return, the name of the parameter we generally keep it as a return parameter. Slash so SC37 and go to SC37 once again. We'll open that BAPI material save data given by SAP, and we will see how they have kept the naming convention. Return, you can see they have kept it. See, in the same way I'm going to keep, so that to avoid any kind of confusion. Return type and BAPI read2. BAPI read2 is this is the structure for the message, a standard structure given by the SAP for the message purpose. It will hold the message information. So message can have the type, what kind of type for the message, ESA, right? X. This is a message, actual message. This is the number. This is the message ID, means message class. Here the message v1, the different parameter we can pass. So this is the standard message it is having. Just save it, check it, and there is no error over here. Pass by value, you'll have to mark it because it's going to be your RFC function module, right? It's going to be your RFC function module. Come into this attribute, mark it RFC function module. We have seen that BAPI is a RFC enabled function module. That's why I'm using this option over here, remote enabled function module. Remember this. Just save it, go to the source code, write a simple code over here, export, go to the source code, write this BAPI underscore sum, control V equals to BAPI underscore first underscore name plus Bapi underscore second underscore n. Will it work? No, it will not work, right? A structure you cannot add. So you can give the access the number, and here also you can access the number, right? So the first parameter number you are going to add with the second parameter number, and in the Papi underscore sum number you'll have to get the value, and this value you will get outside, right? Activate this one, activate this one. Okay, it got activated. Run it and test it. Papi first name, you can see that because it's a structure here, this component is coming. I'm going to add this 20 with 30. Okay, I'm going to add that 20 with 30. Just go back, run this, and you can see that 50 is coming as the sum. Okay, so this is your RFC function module got created. This is not the BAPI at this point of time. To make this as a BAPI, what you will have to do, you will have to create one business object, and then with the business object you will have to register this. Okay, so SWO1 object interface type ZMB28 APR. I'm going to create this business object, right? Object type SW1 is the transaction where I have come. SWO1. Okay, SWO1 is the transaction. So you'll have to come over here and we'll create the business type, business object. Click on this create button. Here give the super type is not required, give it blank. Object name you can keep it the same. Object name, object type and object name you can keep it same. Everywhere I'm going to give the same. If you want you can change. Okay, it all depends on you what you want to create. Okay, so everywhere I have kept the same. You can make the name. If you want to give the different name, you can give the different name like that. Okay, I have kept it same. You can change it. Okay, you can change it, there is no problem. So whenever you create a business object, in background one program gets created. So the name of the program I have also kept the same name, ZMB28 IPR. If it is not there, system will create this program. This is the description. This is the name of the object type. This is the object name. Okay, and this is the object type. Click on this OK button, local object, and your business object got created. Means your oops object got created, and it is having what? It is having interfaces, key fields, attributes, methods, and events. Tell me, what are the what are the what are the components it is having? A business object is having interfaces. Remember it, sometimes in interview they will ask what are the components a business object can have. Very rarely asked question, but sometimes they can ask. Interfaces, key fields, attributes, methods, and events. So if you know about the class, if you have the understanding about the class, in class also we have the attributes, methods, events, interfaces. So the same thing you can tell it over here also. Okay, interfaces, right? Attributes, methods, events. You can tell it over here also, right? Now I have to register that particular BAPI with this object type. So where you will register? Under the method we'll have to register. Right click over here and click on this create button, and the function module we will add it over here. This is the function module. Copy this, paste it over here, click on this OK button. Everything is fine, synchronous and all. Let it be like this only. Okay, automatically one method is going to get create, and this method is being associated with this BAPI. Okay, click on this OK button, click on this next button, and here it is actually, you can see that here automatically that import parameter here and export parameter is coming over here, right? It's coming over here, right? Click on this next button over here, click on this yes, and it got created. One method got created, and with this method, so what I did over here, I put the cursor over here, click on this create button, and whatever it has given me the option, just I have click on the next, and it has nicely created this one. Okay, if there is some incompatibility issue will be there, it will give you the error. You can identify over here, so you don't have to worry. Even if we're going to give some, wrong over here, so for example, if you forgot to give this BAPI in beginning, or here you forgot to give the structure, at this point of time it will give you the error. When you will create the method and when you will try to activate, it will give you the error that you are missing like this, and then you can go again and you can correct that one. Okay, so you don't have to bother. Save it, uh, check it. You can see that does not contain any error. It's fine, it's perfect. I'm going to activate it. So first you will have to generate, actually you'll have to generate this business object. So click on this generate button, and it is telling method object type cannot be generated. Why? Put the cursor over here on this object type and click on the generate button. Here modeled object type cannot be generated. Okay, I understood what is the problem. See, once we create this method, we first have to release it. We first have to release it. Okay, so let's go and release. Go to this edit button, put the cursor over here, go to this edit button, go to the change release status. Here this method is what? This method is a component of this particular object type. Component, right? A part. It is a part of this object type. So that's why what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to select the component option, this object type component. It is now modeled means I have created the designed model is created. Now I want to implement it. You can see that is already implemented, so it's already implemented as well. I'm going to now do the next step to released. Okay, and this time it's telling object type components have higher release level than the object type. Okay, fine. So let me do first. I'm going to uh, release this particular object type. So let's go to edit and change release status. Come to this object type and uh, first click on this implemented object type status set to implemented. It is telling that's good. Go to once again and go to released. Okay, release object type must be transportable. I did one mistake. Okay, whenever we create any object type, we must have to put into a transport. We must have to put into a transport. Local object, if we are going to create, it will not allow. It will not allow if we're going to save under the local object. So what I will do, I will put this one under a transport. Okay, let's go to this, go to the object directory entry, go to the change mode, and here give the productive package name. So it will ask you to provide a transport name. So I'm going to choose any jet package. Okay, so any jet package we can find it out. Jet AVI, someone has created package with their name. Click on this save button. It will ask the request. Automatically it is taking some request. What you can do, you can choose the proper request where you want to save any request which you feel that this is your request where you want to, so selecting the request is also, we should be careful. Request should be the correct. But here this is the demo system. Just I want to tell to the system that I'm saving this particular object type under transport request. So now it is done. Go to once again to this edit, go to this change release type, object type, and to released. No default attribute defined for the object type. Okay, no problem. Method existence check is not redefined. That is also fine. And here you can see that object type status set to released. Okay, so this object is now released. No error. Now come to this method and release this. Okay, so this time you can see that it got also released. Just save it and now put the cursor over here and click on this generate button. Generated successfully. It's telling that object type ZMB28 April generated successfully. If you want to see the program, you can go. That nice program SAP has written for you. So this is the program. What is the use of this business object? This business object can be used in the workflow. This method can be used inside the workflow. This method can be directly called from outside. of the SAP environment from some another system. Now your BAPI is ready. Your BAPI is ready. You can see that under this BAPI, under this function module, your Z BAPI, some, this BAPI is ready. If you want to get it called from outside, you can mark it as an API function. Click on this OK button, save it, and once again you can come and you can generate it. That's it. You are done. You are done. Your BAPI is now created. Your BAPI is now created. That is how you can create the BAPI. Okay, fine. So we understood how to create the BAPI. Okay, now what we will do that we will go to the next topic, that is called the module pool programming. Okay, module pool programming. So we are pending with the topic called module pool programming. We have smart form. We have module pool, a smart form, enhancement, a very important topic, enhancement. Let's start with enhancement first, then we will go to this module pool and a smart form. Okay, from interview point of view, this enhancement is going to be more important. This module pool, LSMW, a smart form can be, I'm just note it down. I'm just noting it down over here to in order to have the better understanding which topic is more important. Enhancement is very important topic. Very important. Very important. A smart form we can give as the second. Then the module pool nowadays, it is going to be something like obsolete. Okay, but it is nowadays also having the significance. I will let you know. Module pool programming is nothing but the screen programming. Whatever you are able to see over here, that when I'm clicking on this display button, it's opening, right? The screen which you are able to see here, the different button is there. This all comes under the module pool programming. Okay, that we will see in detail. Smart form, but module pool, because the Fury UI5 has come into the picture, this technology is now getting day by day obsolete. Okay, but still here, suppose if you want to create some screen, you should know the module pool, right? Here you cannot use the UI5. If we're going to use the UI5 entirely, you'll have to create the browser application, right? HTML application. Okay, so it is having significance. We will learn the module pool in detail. Module pool programming, and then LSMW, very less question asked. Very less question asked from this LSMW, mainly useful for the functional people. LSMW. Okay, so first we'll start with the enhancement and we'll try to complete this enhancement, and then we will go for the module pool programming. Come over here and let's write the topic called enhancement. Very important topic. It's a very important topic, enhancement. Okay, so come over here, and what is enhancement? Why this enhancement? When to use enhancement? Okay, why this enhancement concept came into the picture? Why it is required? As its name suggests, enhancement is nothing but which is some some program or some object is already present. Some object is already present, and you just want to enhance that one. You just want to enhance that particular object, right? Isn't it? You are going to enhance that particular object. If something is already present and just you want to enhance that one. Okay, you just want to enhance that one. So for example, okay, for example, something like this, something like this. I think it's not a better representation. Just to give me a second. I'm looking for some good representation of enhancement. Let's something like this. Okay, so already present, some object is already there. Suppose if you have already one chair and you want to enhance that particular chair with some extra stuff. Okay, you want to put gadda over there, you want to put some another, another thing, you want to just put it over there. Similarly, you can have, if you have a room and you want to make it furnished, right? So in the existing room, you are going to do the enhancement, you are going to do the modification, right? So here in the SAP terms, what this enhancement stands for, So in SAP has given the standard program. SAP has given the standard program, right? MM01, the standard transaction is there. If you have to create some material, SAP has given MM01. This MM01 is using some program in backend, right? This is the program. This is the actual program. This DIN Pro wala program is the actual program. Okay. This DIN Pro wala program is the actual program. This one, the first one. Okay. So in backend, this particular program is getting executed when you are going to use this MM01. Okay. And when you give all this required information over here and click on the save button, this program gets executed and create a material and update the database table Mara and the relevant database. If you are going to extend plant, then it will update the Marcy. If you are going to extend the storage location, if you are going to save the storage location, then the relevant table called Mardi will be updated. Okay, so who is doing all these things? Who is doing all these things, right? Who is doing all these things? That program is doing all these things, right? That program is doing all these things. Now suppose you have created this one, right? You have created this one. The standard functionality is telling that if we're going to give this mandatory parameter, it will be saved, right? If you click on the save button, it will be saved. But you want to implement your custom requirement. This is the standard requirement given by SAP already. If you want to implement your custom requirement, for example, you want that if this material group is blank and if I click on the save button, it should not be saved. Okay, it should give a error message that this material group is mandatory. A very simple requirement, very small requirement, but very valid requirement. Okay, so just my focus would be here to make you understand the concept. Once you understand the concept, you will be able to implement the complex requirement as well, because now you are expert in doing the report programming. Okay, so now the concept is more important. Where to write the code to put this validation, where to write the code to put this validation, right? If you click on save button, it will just get saved. You can see that material got created, right? That particular validation, I want to do it. That particular validation, I want to do it. How to do that particular validation? Okay, and where to do? So obviously we are going to do that validation in the program, right? The program which is responsible to create the material. So this is the actual program, right? This is the actual program. You can see that so many includes are there. Inside this include, there is possibility that another include might be also there, right? So these are the list of includes. There are bunch of codage, lot of codes are written, lot of code inside this include. You can see there are multiple includes, right? This is the function module, right? Inside this include, this is the function module. So include, inside include, you will be able to see, right? Here you can see that so many include inside this include, correct? So actually I'm telling all these things. You will have to first identify the place where you can put that code. Suppose if you have identified some places, for example, let us suppose if you have identified some places here to write that particular code to put the validation, right? Would you do? Are you supposed to do? are you supposed to do? Okay, if you have to write your custom requirement, if you have to implement your custom requirement, in the SAP standard code, you can do, but it is strongly not recommendable. It's a very, very bad practice. It's a very, very bad practice. You can do, you can talk to your basis team, you can get the access key. Okay, you can talk to your basis p, you can talk to your management, you can talk to your basis people, you can get the access key, you can click on this change button. Okay, you can click on this OK button. It will ask you, to give a developer access key. There you will have to put the developer access key, and then it will be enabled to to edit. Here it is not asking because already this is the test system and client is open. It's already client is open over here. This opening the client is also not a good practice. Okay, to open the client is also, it's already the client is open, that's why it is not means anyone can go over here. You can see that anyone can go over here and can change the standard SAP code, right? Anyone can go over here and can change the SAP standard code. See, it's not restricting, right? Because the client is open over here. This is the SAP basis terminology. This is very this is the demo system. We can't tell anything, but in real-time system, it will not allow you to change. This is the standard include. You can go and check in your project. When you click on this change button, it will ask you to provide access key. You have to get that access key from your basis people, and then you put over there, then it will allow you to change. Then only it will come in this particular, uh, then only it will come like this once you give the, and here you can write your code. But this practice is very, very bad practice, very, very bad practice. For example, suppose I have written some code over here, right? I have written some read, write, whatever, some message I have written. Tomorrow SAP has done some changes in this include. Okay, suppose today the SAP is having the standard, suppose today SAP is having some standard, uh, to, SAP is having some, let me write it over here, or just I'm trying to get that drawing. Yeah, now I got it. So here what actually I'm trying to tell, that here we have written our code, right? And tomorrow SAP is released a new version of its software. Okay, and my company or your company wants to upgrade this particular code to that software, the new version of software. So when the new version of software will come, what will happen? This code will be overwritten, so your code will not be there, right? Your code will not be there. This is one problem. This is one problem. What will be the another problem? Another problem will be there. The SAP code is so huge, right? SAP code is so huge. So it is like microprocessor. It is like a microprocessor. It is like CPU. Microprocessor is built by Intel, right? They have done so many things over there, so many engineers, so much in so much organized way, that chip has been created, that processor has been created. And suppose if you want to do your if you want to put your skill over there, if you want to put your custom enhancement over here in that chip, there is 99.99% possibility that you are going to you are going to disturb that chip. Instead of implementing your, instead of implementing your enhancement, instead of implementing your custom requirement over there, there are lot of possibility, that you are going to disturb that, right? That is the case of microprocessor. Here that much risk is not, but still there are a lot of risk. here also in the standard program, because you don't know the flow and all, at how many places this include is getting called, at how many places this form is getting called, right? Everything will have to check, and then only if you want to write something, then you can write. Again, it's going to be very, very risky. The first problem is that we have understood that when the new version of the software will come, it will be overwritten. Your hard work will be going to be overwritten. No benefit, right? Second, there is a lot of possibility that you are going to disturb the code, right? You are going to disturb the flow. Okay, so that's why these are the two major disadvantages. These are the two major disadvantages, right? These are the two major disadvantages which include, I have opened, let me go and activate it. Let me go and activate the complete group, go and activate, so that if something is not activated, it got successfully activated, everything fine. Okay, I'll go and note it down. I will go and note it down. Enhancement. So the standard, the code modification, direct code modification is also one way of enhancement. Okay, direct code modification is also one way of enhancement. Fine. So this is your enhancement. Okay, so come over here, and the very first thing, so initially people used to do like this, 40 years back, 30 years back. Okay, in very beginning, SAP realized that this is very risky. Code modification, direct code modification, direct code modification. This is how you can do enhancement, right? This is also this is also one way, but very, very risky. Very, very risky. Very, very risky. Direct code modification, not recommended at all. Not recommended at all. Not recommended at all. Very, very risky. Okay. What is the problem? What is the problem? Problem with this approach? Just I have explained you the first problem, that when new version of the SAP software comes into the picture, comes, and if you want to install, and you install in your system, then your custom code will be overwritten. Custom code will be overwritten, right? Your hard work is gone. Your hard work is gone. Okay. Another potential disadvantage is, another very big disadvantage is, there is very much probability, possibility that you are going to disturb the SAP standard functionality. Disturb the SAP standard functionality. So this is not recommended. This is not recommended. Okay, this is not recommended. Okay, problem I put into the red mark, and this I'm going to put into the, so direct code modification, this is a one way. This is one way. This is the one technique. Another technique, SAP came up with the user exit, a concept called exit. Okay, user exit. What is this user exit? Another enhancement technique is the user exit. Once SAP realized that this is very dangerous for the customer, okay, these are very dangerous for the customer, so SAP came up with the user exit. After this, you know, after this SAP came up with the user exit. So we'll see about the user exit. What is this user exit? So user exit is nothing but, here you have just seen that what I did, I went over here and suppose I have to change the code over here. Suppose I have to change the code over here. So I went over here and I changed the code over here. I write some read statement. Okay, read table it underscore tab. Okay, into some work area, something like that, and some if else statement. Some as per my requirement, I wrote some code over here. Correct. So this is my code. This is my code. So generally, when we write the code, we give our what tag, so that we will be able to identify. So in the main program itself, I'm doing this one. What SAP did that SAP has given a hook. SAP has given one place in form of subroutine. Perform test. Okay. Perform another enhancement. Perform enhancement one. Okay. And then perform another let me do enhancement 2, this one, enhancement 2, and this will keep the enhancement 3. Okay, so SAP, what did the SAP, that I have to do my enhancement, right? I have to write my code. So what SAP has given, that SAP, instead of instead of writing the code over here, SAP has given some hook. SAP has given some place where I can go and write the code. Not everywhere, not everywhere. So whenever we create any subroutine, right? And if you double click over here, we must have to define this subroutine in some include, right? Or in some places here you can see that it is asking for, there are so many includes given over here already, so it's giving the option that in which include you want, or do you want to create the new include. Here one new include is automatic, it is asking to create. Okay, so what SAP has done, that such kind of perform they have given in the program, such kind of perform they have given in the program. Okay, and their name they have started with the user exit underscore, user exit underscore, user exit underscore, user exit underscore, like that they have given. And all this subroutine they have put in a common include. Okay, they have put all this subroutine in a common include, and SAP tells that go to that include, and whatever you want to do the changes you do, there is no problem. When I will release my new version, I will not do anything with that include. Your include will be safe. I'm not going to do anything in that particular include. Okay, so this is the way how, with the help of user exit, SAP is SAP is not going to overwrite our code. Okay, how, with the help of user exit, SAP is not going to overwrite our code. But there also you require the access key, but there also you require the access because that include is not the custom include, that is again the standard include. Okay, suppose if you want to see that include, let me close this one. See how risky this one. Suppose if I write this code over here, no one will be able to create any material. right? No one will be able to create the material because we don't know how it's going to work, right? It can do anything. Okay, see, it's asking for this transport request and all. I'm not going to do anything, just go back, and I will not save. Okay, so it's fine because I have not said, it is there as it is. User exit, I want to show you the example for the user exit. Okay, let's go to some another transaction called VA01 /n VA01. This is to create the sales order. Okay, this is to create the sales order. Press F4, select something, press enter. This screen has come. I just want to see which particular background program is being used for this particular VA01. So go to this system, go to this status, okay, and come over here in this program, double click, and here just search with the name called user exit. You will get many user exit over here, which has been given by the SAP, It is just searching, and you can see that many user exit has come. Okay, so it will be in form of perform. You can see that perform. I'm going to select this one, perform user exit. Click over here. Okay, and here perform user exit reference document. This is the main program. And in the main program, SAP has given this user exit. And if you double click over here, okay, it will take you to the include. You can see that this is the include, and SAP is telling you write the code over here. There is no problem. I'm not going to do anything with this include. This include will be as it is. SAP is not going to write even a single line of code inside this include. This include is for us, for developer like us. We can go and write over here the code. Okay, so where the refresh document it was, similarly in the same include some another user exit is also there, right? Another user exit is also there. It has been called from somewhere else in the in the program, correct? So you can come over here and you can write the code. Here also you can see that it's not starting with Y or Z. That means it is in the SAP namespace. It is under the SAP namespace, and whenever anything is there in the SAP namespace, you will not be able to change it directly if client is not open. And opening the client is very, very bad practice. I don't know why they have kept it open. You can try in your demo system and just and you can see that if it is allowing you to change it over here. Here it's allowing, which is not a good practice. Okay, you can check in your demo system. In the development system, in the real-time project system, you will not be able to do so. Okay, you will not be able to do so. So even for this include, if you want to write the code over here, I want to refresh the document, and for refreshing the document, right, some internal table or some work area, something like that, if I want to do that, I have to write the code over here, right? So I have to ask to my management, my team lead, that sir, I want to write the code over here, and this is the user exit. Please give me your approval for the purpose of getting the access key from the basis. Once he gives the approval, you will raise the request to the basis people. He will give you the access key. Once you click on this button, it will ask for access key. You can give the access key and you can write the code over here. Okay, but nowadays we have one another technique as well, implicit enhancement. We'll discuss about that. So generally people feel, people don't feel to go to the, go to asking the basis people, going to the management and getting the approval. They come and they use the implicit enhancement concept, and with the help of that, it will allow you to write the code over here. Okay, this button will allow you to write the code over here in form of implicit enhancement. You don't require the access key in your project also. That concept also will learn. Okay, that concept also we'll see in detail. Fine. So now user exit. Let us see the, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. Okay, so user exit, very risky, not recommended at all. Sorry, this is the first one. User exit, here it is uh, it is it is in form of, right? I think you might be looking it very small, right? I'm going to make it little larger. It is in form of subroutine. Okay, it is in form of subroutine. Name is started, another point, name is started with user exit. Okay, then another point is that all the user exit will be there inside a include. All the user, means suppose if you have total 50 user exit, so the 20 user exit will be in one include, another 10 will be in another include, again the remaining 15 will be another include, and again the 5 will be there in another include. So something like that, they are segregated in the separate include based upon their nature and behavior. Okay, so all the user exits are segregated under the different include. Okay, all the user exits are segregated, okay, under the different includes, and that includes is not going to be disturbed by SAP. That includes is not going to be disturbed by SAP, because that is not going to be disturbed by SAP, so your code will be safe, right? So the problem which you were facing over here, that is now the second problem, sorry, the first problem, right? First problem, overwritten problem, is now going to remove. There is a very much, the risk is also minimized, right? Because you are not going to modify anywhere in the program, only at the given places only, wherever the SAP thinks that this here changing cannot create more problem, there only it is going to give you the this particular user exit, right? There only it's going to give you this subroutine, right? At the another places it's not going to give this subroutine. Okay, so the risk is also minimized over here. Risk is also minimized over here, right? Risk is also minimized over here because user exit is given only at some certain places by SAP. You cannot write the code anywhere, wherever you want, certain places. Okay, certain places. But it is having the problem also. This user exit is also having some problem. What are those problem? What are those problem? The problem is that here also you require the access key, right? Here also you require the access key. So let me write it down. It requires the access key. So this is the property of the here it also requires the access key. Okay, so this we have seen about this user exit. Now let us write the problem. So under the problem you can write that it requires it requires the access key. All right, this user exit is only available in SD module. This user exit is only available in sales and distribution module. Sales and distribution module. Okay, you will not be able to find in another module. This is the another problem. Okay, here you know, these are the two potential problem you have. Another problem, because in form of subroutine, right? Because you are because we are going to use the subroutine to modify the code. So in subroutine, you know that you can access the global field, right? In subroutine, you know that you can access the global field. Because we are going to use the subroutine to modify the code, there is a possibility, there is a risk that we can disturb the potential global variable, and which can create the problem. Potential global variable, though it does not means it is very rare, it's very rare, but this is because we have to write some problem, right? We have to identify some problem and write. It's very rare though, you know, because we are a developer. We will not go and change any global variable without knowing or something like that, right? But this is the problem, it may happen. Okay, so this is the problem. To avoid this problem, SAP came up with the concept called customer exit. Okay, SAP came up with the concept called customer exit. First, we will learn in the next class how we can implement this user exit. Then we will go for the customer exit. Okay. Then we will go for the body. Then we will go for the implicit enhancement and explicit enhancement. Okay. So with this, we will stop the today's session over here. And tomorrow, our class will be just a second. Let me stop the recording. Tomorrow. Yes, yes, yes.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So others, this requirement is clear. So the requirement is you have to create one BAPI. Okay, you have to create a custom BAPI where you have to fetch the material information from the Mara table. These are the field you will have to get from the Mara table. Okay. As a hint, I have just told you that you can create the name of this BAPI. Once you create the name of, once you created this particular, BAPI, with the means it should be RFC function module and all the criteria should match. Otherwise, otherwise what will happen when you will start registering? So once you create this RFC function module, and then you will have to go to the SW1. There you will have to create the business object, and then you'll have to create a method and make sure that business object should be there in the transport request. You have seen that it was giving the error. Business object under the TR. Once it will be there in the TR, it will not give you the error. Add the method, and under the method add the FM, this RFC FM just you have created. Which FM? This FM, ZBAPI get material info. Okay, this will have to add it over there. Once you will add and you will release this method, this BAPI is going to be your custom BAPI. That's it, your BAPI is ready. Okay, fine. Then if you have any question, please feel free to ask, or else let's stop our session over here.